Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Devil's Den. Last time I came to you guys, we were talking about my playoff predictions for the Eastern Conference. So this time, we're going to be talking about my playoff predictions for the Western Conference. Each series, who's going to win, players to watch, how long the games are going to go for. But before we get to that, I just wanted to quickly do a little bit of an update. So, at the bottom of every video, in the description of each video, I'm going to be posting a Discord link for basically anything and everything about this channel. There will be updates there, all of the videos will be posted there, everything will be there. I figure instead of communicating back and forth on a YouTube video, which I absolutely do love, we can have our own little Devil's Den community Discord server. So that's going to be at the bottom in the description. There will be a link that you guys will be able to click and join our little Discord group. I got rid of my old one because basically no one except for myself was posting there, and I was just posting the videos there. So I figured, it's the off season, let's make some changes. And yeah, so like I said, Discord link will be at the bottom in the description of the video. So let's get started. The Western Conference is, in my opinion, a way closer ordeal, and it was way more difficult to discern where the series was going to go, because I consider the Western Conference at this point in time to be a far tighter and far more iffy way to go than the Eastern Conference. Rangers against Capitals, we all know the Rangers are probably going to win that series. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe the Capitals surprise us, but we're pretty sure, Rangers are going to win that. Carolina versus Islanders, we're pretty sure Carolina is. It's a pretty clear thing that Carolina's most likely going to win. Not to say the Islanders can't surprise us, but hey, half of these series are pretty, we can kind of make a fair deduction. In the West, I genuinely don't know for some of these series where it's going to go, but I did my best, and I kind of made some notes, and I'm going to give you my honest thoughts. So let's get started first and foremost. The Dallas Stars versus the Vegas Golden Knights. So here's my thing. Vegas has been a contender since the moment they stepped into the league. The first year in, we had the expansion draft. And Vegas was a cup contender right out of the gate. First year in, they're in the cup final against Washington. Winning the Stanley Cup last year, and had been, for the most part of the year, a really dominant team up until the last 20-25 games, where they sort of went all the way up and then started to slide, and they just barely squeaked into a playoff spot. Being the lowest seed in the Western Conference. They're playing the Dallas Stars, who, in my opinion, I understand they won the conference. I understand that. But I think that the Dallas Stars are one of the most overlooked and underappreciated teams in the NHL, bar none. Okay? They're up there with the Predators. Okay? Dallas, from top to bottom, from GMs to head management to coaches to trainers to players to picks to trades to everything, are one of the most well-rounded and well-put-together teams who have consistently, over the years, been managed to make playoff appearance after playoff appearance after playoff appearance, but just can't get the job done. So, in the series against Dallas versus Vegas, I think this series goes 6 games. I think that Vegas still has some fight. A lot of their team are used to playoff hockey. They are used to the hard grittiness, the work ethic, the drive. They're still such a good team, and they can be great again, but I think that Dallas actually wins this series in 6 games, because everything from their forwards to their defense to their goaltending, if Ottinger can resume and go back to his 920, 925 save percentage days, because I think he finished the season with like a 902, 905. If he can go back to that with guys like Jamie Benn, guys like Wyatt Johnston, guys like Jason Robertson, who are all young, well, maybe not so much Ben, but Johnston and Robertson are both young, growing talented, skilled guys. I think Dallas takes this series 4-2, 6 games. I think Dallas gets by Vegas, and I think we see for the first time Vegas getting booted out in the first round of the NHL playoffs. So that's series number 1. Guys, I want to kind of keep our eye on in this series are, again, guys I already mentioned. Wyatt Johnston, young center, been in the league for 2 years. He has, I think, the most goals on the team for Dallas. Guys like Jason Robertson, on Dallas, who again has been in the league for a couple of years now. He's got some some years under his belt. He's played in the playoffs. He's experienced. Great guy. On Vegas' side, I think you have to give it to Jason Marchessault, who is easily their best player, in my personal opinion. And not only just Marchessault, but the goaltending in Vegas. I think the goaltending in Vegas will have a noticeable presence in the first round because Adin Hill is kind of sneaky in that there are games where, like, he played fine, and then he has a couple of those, and then he puts on, like, an absolute star-studded performance. And I think that, again, if he can get back to, like Ottinger, if they can get back to those, like, 915, 920, 925 save percentages, I think Adin Hill has massive potential to be a big player in the series. So, that's that series. Moving on. We have Vancouver, the Canucks, versus the Nashville Predators. Vancouver has had one of the best seasons of any Vancouver Canucks team in the past since, like, the Sedin twins, okay? And that's big shoes to fill. And one of the great things that has helped them this year fill those shoes are the performances by Thatcher Demko and Quinn Hughes. We all know, as Devils fans, we love Quinn. We love the Hughes guys. But Quinn has had not only career year, but franchise year with the Canucks. He's one of... I'm so certain that Quinn Hughes is going to be a franchise defenseman for the Canucks now and into the future. Imagine if you had Quinn Hughes on your team when the Sedin brothers were around, when Luongo was on the team. Could you imagine how good and, like, at least 2 cups they would have had? Like, unbelievable. Anyways, on the Nashville side of things, Nashville, I think, is, again, one of these sleeper teams. They get in under the wire, but they have massive potential, specifically with guys like Philip Forsberg, who is still a massive, massive threat. I think he has something like 45 goals this year. Like, dude still has such potential to be an absolute all-star veteran guy who makes a difference in the playoffs. Not only that, but I do think you're going to see a goalie battle between Thatcher Demko of the Vancouver Canucks and Juuse Saros of Nashville. Saros could... Absolutely. If Nashville really wanted to, if they really put pedal to the metal, I could see Nashville winning a cup backstopped by Saros and Saros having, like, a Conn Smythe playoff appearance. I genuinely think that. Now, in terms of how many games do I think this series is going to go to, here's my honest opinion. I think this series is going to go 7 games. Vancouver has had a struggle the last 15, 18, 20 games of the last season, specifically because Thatcher Demko was out and then didn't have their all-star goaltender, and you saw performance start to drop. Vancouver was, they still managed to keep their position in the West, but they didn't have as much of a good, much of a good time without Demko being there. Okay, so I think this is going to go to 7 games. Nashville is sneaky. They have the potential to push the Canucks to the edge, but I think Vancouver wins this series in 7 games, with, again, guys like Demko and Quinn Hughes being really big players in those series, as well as guys like Forsberg and Saros for Nashville. So, that series, 7 games, Vancouver's winning that series. Okay? Going to the third one, we're making good time. I'm trying to keep this under 20 minutes, so we'll see if we end up doing this. Third one is the Winnipeg Jets versus the Colorado Avalanche. And at first glance, I kind of wanted to be like Colorado in 5. I don't know, Colorado sweep, Colorado in 5. I don't know. I think Winnipeg, I feel like I'm repeating myself a little bit, but Winnipeg, I think, again, like Nashville, has the potential to make this an interesting series. I think that Winnipeg has the potential to, like, have a lot of people look at their series and go, this is Winnipeg, right? This is the team that, like, never makes the playoffs, can't get out of the first, second round. Like, I don't know. I think Winnipeg genuinely has the potential. But here's how I see this series going down. So, I think that Winnipeg and Colorado is going 6 games, with the Colorado Avalanche coming out on top. Colorado has arguably some of the best players in the league at their positions. So you have guys like Nathan MacKinnon and Rantanen, who are arguably 2 of the best forwards in the league to this day, as well as probably, arguably, outside of maybe Adam Fox, the best defenseman in the league in Cale Makar. They have a star-studded cast. They really do. And they've continued to add to that by adding guys like Jonathan Drouin and some impressive, backup characters to their main squad. Their goaltending is a little shaky at times. They're rocking with Alexander Georgiev, and I think that's going to be the chink in the armor of the Colorado Avalanche is going to be their goaltending. I don't think they're going to have any issues with scoring or defending. It's going to be how strong or how weak Georgiev plays this series. That's my big thing. I do think Colorado takes this in 6, but I think that, again, if Colorado's not careful, Winnipeg could take them for a ride. In terms of guys who I think that are notable and we should kind of watch out for during the series, on Colorado's end, I feel like the obvious answer is just Nathan MacKinnon, because the guy put up like 140-something points this year, which, again, how is no one talking about Nathan MacKinnon? I understand we have Matthews almost hitting 70. I understand we have McDavid. I understand we have Kucherov. But, like, Nathan MacKinnon had a 140-something point season, and I have heard butt kiss about him, which is weird because usually I hear a lot about him, but like this year, it doesn't feel like I heard much about MacKinnon. It really doesn't. I don't quite understand it. On the other hand, with Winnipeg, I think that the MVP of that series for Winnipeg is going to be Hellebuyck. If Hellebuyck can continue to be as invaluable to Winnipeg in the playoffs as he was during the regular season, being up for a Vezina trophy this year, putting numbers like 920, 925 save percentages for the Winnipeg Jets, along with guys like Kyle Connor, Tyler Toffoli, and the rest of the gang, I don't know. I don't think that this series is going to be as cut and paste as some people might think it'd be. I know that we have the juggernaut of the Colorado Avalanche, they won the Stanley Cup like 2 years ago, and like they are still the Colorado Avalanche. But again, I think the Jets possibly keep this series interesting with an all-around great cast backed up by an all-star goaltender. That brings us to our final series. I'm just going to flip my notes around here real quick. Final series of the playoffs. We have the Edmonton Oilers versus the Los Angeles Kings. And I think this is the only series in the entirety of the Western Conference that I feel like is going to be the shortest and easiest to call. I've got Edmonton beating LA in 5 games. I think Edmonton wins in 5. However, I'm going to put a really big asterisk here. I don't think the Kings have anywhere near the star-studded ensemble that Edmonton has. Okay? However, if you look at the LA Kings, you look at their all-around team, you look from forwards to defense to goaltending, and at face value, it looks like they have like an all-right team. They have an okay team. They're good. They're not anything great. They're not, they're not, in terms of points, they're not the Rangers. They're not the Avalanche. They're not, Boston. They're not Florida. They're not Dallas. They're not Vancouver. But I think LA has the potential to be the black sheep of the West. We've seen it before, where LA comes in at 8th position, comes in, barely makes the playoffs. This is back when Jonathan Quick was their goaltender. They go and they make it. They go 8th in the West, barely make the playoffs, and they just start knocking teams off. Boom, 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 and then they win the cup. The year that New Jersey last made the cup final was against LA, where they did exactly that in 2014. Like, the Kings, at face value, don't look like they have much to offer. And I don't know if they do. But it's the only series that I don't know about. Because, again, Edmonton, I think, wins. I think, again, if I was a betting man and if I had, $20 in my pocket to just throw at the camera right now, I'd put it on Edmonton. But there's something there. I don't know what it is, but I think the Kings have something like an ace in the sleeve or ace up this. I don't know. Edmonton in 5. The Kings could surprise me, and I want them to. I really want them to. Players to watch in this series. Connor McDavid is an obvious. Guy again, 120 to 140 point season, like McKinnon, up for the Hart Trophy again for what feels like the umpteenth time. But Zach Hyman had a career high year for goals. Guy scored 54 goals this year. I know there's been a lot of controversy about the kind of goals that he scored. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, a goal is a goal is a goal. I don't care if you bomb it from the point. I don't care if you snipe it in. I don't care if it's a garbage goal. If you're putting the puck in the back of the net 54 times a year, you deserve to be mentioned in a players to watch, okay? A lot of people this year were talking about whether or not Hyman's year should be a credible year despite scoring 54 goals, because he's scoring goals where he's parked himself in front of the net, puck comes loose, and he just kind of taps it in. I'm sorry, the Devils have Timo Meier on their team. Okay, we have Timo Meier, who literally is a power forward who has scored a lot of goals digging down low in front of the goalie to score goals. Can he shoot the puck? Obviously. But you know who else can shoot the puck pretty damn well? His name is Zach Hyman. So, Hyman, guy to watch for Edmonton. Obviously, guys like McDavid are clear as day to watch. Not mentioning McDavid's name in a Edmonton Cup run is ridiculous. But for the Kings, I put everyone because I don't know where stuff's going to come. I understand they still got guys like Kempe on their team, which are he's a fantastic player. You've got, like, Doughty still wants. Doughty wants a cup before he retires. He wants to get one more before he goes, or at least one really good deep playoff run. And that veteran presence on the Kings cannot be what do you call it? Why am I missing words? You can't underestimate Doughty's potential to be like, no, I want one more. I want one more, as well as his effect on guys like Quinton Byfield on the Kings, who, again, great guy, flies under the radar. He's a 55-point guy this year. For a defenseman, that's fantastic. Again, guy, because he plays in the West and he plays for the Kings, he flies under the radar. I don't know. I think that the Kings have a unique ability to get points from just about everywhere. From defense to goaltending to forwards on all four lines. The Kings are sneaky, so I put everyone. I know it's a cop-out, but there's not one guy on the Kings that I think makes more of a difference than anybody else. Maybe it's Kempe, maybe, but they can get goals from anywhere, the Kings. And I think, again, they have the potential to be the sneakiest team in the West with the Nashville Predators. So, those are my picks for the Western Conference. Today is day 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm going to be watching Hurricanes Islanders with my family at 5 today, as well as right after that, watching the Leafs Bruins games at 8. I don't know if I'll be making videos I'm not going to be making videos for every single game. But if there's a game I watch and I really want to make a video for it, I'll definitely do it. And I'll update my predictions when the second round of the playoffs happens and the Western Eastern final and the Cup final and things like that. There'll definitely be videos for that. But I'm not going to be doing videos for like every single playoff game because I'm going to end up be doing like 4 videos a night and I'm already going hoarse just doing this one. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you guys in the next one. Adios.